Attention, cadets. Once you have finished your Miyazaki shift, please report to the Cadet Master's office for a mandatory debrief.
It is Thursday, February 12th, 2026, and we are here to review the latest episode of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Come, let's away. Come, let's away. Come, let's away with me, you guys. I am your host today, Worldmind, and I am joined by fresh and old faces.
Sure.
We got a new cadet on board, Allison Doucette. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And a class act, and always coming in with a stern eye and freshly viewed episode of Starfleet Academy, our own Adam Woodward. Hello, Adam. How are you today?
Hey, Worldmind, and Allison, welcome. Blown away.
Fresh out like the airlock. Adam is blown away.
Holy cow! Let's get into this because it was so good.
It was an action-packed episode.
Well, it's true. So brief descriptor.
Sure.
Oh, we also got Sam in the chat. Hey, Sam. Welcome to Degrassi in space.
No,
you know
Sam, no.
It's well beyond that. I think we've ripped off the YA Band-Aid that have been in the past few episodes of this series, the first 5, and that's what it's felt
Almost
like
nudity. That's something different for Star Trek.
and we came in with a shocking intro for Star Trek, and usually it's off scene, but yeah, we get that surprise intro. So yeah, brief thoughts on it before we break down the screenshots. This is probably the best episode of the season so far, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you guys. Allison, what is your brief thoughts on this episode?
I agree as well. Like, there's been some ups and downs, as you said earlier, that through the season, and this is kind of fully engaging into that action-packed session, right?
Mm-hmm. Adam, do you got any thoughts, or you just want to break this in?
No, I do have thoughts. Like, I didn't mind 1, 2, 3. Didn't mind them.
Mm-hmm.
4 was great. It was a good episode, really well written. Love that storytelling about Caden's family. I thought it was amazing. Last week, you weren't here, Chris. Disaster. That was probably the worst Star Trek I've seen in years, and that was even worse than some of the Changing the World season 3 shows. But this, we have a new bad guy. We have the ending. Did you watch the credits at the end?
Was there post-credit scene?
No. Just the credits. They had the clicking of those anyway.
Yes, they did have
with the
clicking,
flesh
yeah.
shooting sounds.
It sounded like this. Like, first of all, okay, we have to talk. Paul Giamatti, amazing.
Excellent actor.
Just eats up every scene. He is devouring this role. Absolutely.
Well, the interactions between him and Holly Hunter are just, this episode in particular, was super intense. I liked the reserve that Holly Hunter had, like when they're in the room and they're all by themselves, and she's being very quiet and he's dominating. But I felt like her performance was equally as stoic, I suppose.
She wasn't the casual lounging on seats. Like, you could see her on edge and panicky almost. Like, in that ending scene when he's like laying it out, just intense.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, she had the boots on, and we're going to strap our boots on as we break into the screenshots of this episode. So, we got our standard CBS Studios production this time, not written in crayon like it was in the last episode.
Let's just forget that episode even exists.
Listen,
it was a little testing ground.
Real brief. That last episode, it was an awkward start, but it was a strong finish, and I recommend giving it a second watch, Adam, because it was pretty emotional, just the same.
I cursed you last week. I don't know if you watched, but I cursed you because you said it's going to get better from here on out after episode 3, and 4 was great. 5, no. Anyway, let's forget about that one. Let's move on to this one.
Episode 6 is standing the test of time. So,
and I'm going to say this first 1 minute and 12 seconds, you guys read in my chat. I thought, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Adam was not a fan of this opening. You get our first on-screen sex scene, I guess you could say, in Star Trek. We get Caleb and what's her name again? Oh, jeez.
Here. Oh my gosh, I'll get all the names right.
Tarima.
Thank you.
Tarima, that's right. Yes.
Oh, Allison, you're hired. We like you now.
On the ball. Yeah, so Caleb and Tarima are basically, having that good old-fashioned in their early 20s connection. It was a bit surprising to see this go down, but it's the base of what'll be the climactic end to this episode. These two, in their coitus, ultimately get a bit of a psychic connection going on. Caleb is brought into the cabbage world of Tarima.
They were like
as you can see here.
Kind of flowers, but okay.
Yeah, I think they're like chamomile flowers or something. I don't know.
Where's Heather when we need her? She'd tell us.
Yeah, she would know.
So yeah, this is basically Tarima's safe space. When she was younger, her powers sort of gave her a traumatic experience, and this is where she brought herself to mentally prepare herself. But during this moment, she sees a teddy bear, and curiously, she decides to finger Caleb's button from behind, if you will, putting him into a shocking flashback memory loophole of his traumas. But yeah, she just kind of slipped it back in there, hit his button, and he recoiled and was shocked and proceeded to call her words like freak and stuff like that. Your freak betazoid powers, is that all part of being in the mind? And it was very I guess you could say it felt like a scene about consent in a bit of a subtle way, or not so subtle way. But it was just funny because they were so intimate, and then he's like, that was my trauma. I can't talk about the trauma. I'm like, you're just a part of her. Like, come on, man. Yeah. Adam, you clearly weren't a fan of this opening act.
You know what? As we're reviewing it now, and I really like the episode, I like it better. And you made a point about first sex scene, but it's better than when, Chris Pine as Kirk had the 2 green women in his bed. That was too comical. This was actually believable, right? So,
yeah.
And setting
Allison,
up the episode, right? That setting up the episode for that psychic connection.
Necessary. Yeah. Like, honestly, Allison, after last week, I was so disgusted. I thought we were going to get into some kind of more teen drama, and I'm very glad we didn't. Okay, done with talking about last week now. Over.
So yeah, we sort of warp into what is the set piece of our episode. They're in a sort of section of space that is essentially a scrapyard or grave of. Oh, I should have wrote the ship down.
Oh yeah, because it's the director, isn't it? The Ghibli director reference to the ship.
Is that what it is?
I feel like that's what.
Holly Hunter's Nahla, like as everyone here, she's basically explaining that this ship had a quantum warp core of some type. It was the USS Miyazaki. That's right. Of course,
No,
Miyazaki.
the
Wow. How did I not think of
Singularity Warp Core.
Yeah, the Singularity Warp Core. So they were here to test a Singularity Warp Core. Ultimately, it did not go well in their first test, and it killed all of the crew. And it's turned this into a graveyard, and now has become a training scenario for the academy. They also mentioned that in 5 years, so apparently the academy has been going for 5 years, that nobody has ever gotten a higher score than 65% on this. This episode's a strong intro to, I would say, it sort of gives Chancellor Aki and, the Chancellor of the War Academy, his more balanced performance. It made him seem like more like, oh, I see why this guy's in this position, because in the previous episodes he was more silly and seemed half-handed, but this is like, oh, this is what he's about. He's about making sure everyone does it safely and as a team and all that stuff. And he starts breaking down that there are multiple teams. There's going to be like Team A and Team B, where Team A is going to be on the away mission. They're going to go to the ship. They're going to activate the core, or at least attempt to, and Team B is going to be behind, monitoring them from the ship and making sure nothing goes crazy. And they introduce new plasma suits, so we don't have the like clunky golden and white fish bucket space suits anymore. Now we just get a fancy green plasma shield generator. Caleb was playing with it, but our new teacher, our field commander, Tomov, he's here to, keep him straight, keep him centered. They all enter the elevator, are heading to, I guess, one of the ship's pods. How are we feeling about Tomov, and how we feel about this?
Can you go back, because I missed that. Can you just go back to the bridge shot? Wow, there's another new alien. No, one more.
Oh, this one here? Yeah.
Is it like a bird?
It kind of seems like a parrot, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So EJR87R says, no, the War College has been going for over 100 years. They've only been using this test ground for 5 years. Starfleet has just been reopened. Okay. Yeah, I think that sort of is sort of implied with some of the... Sorry, was that?
ERJ, sorry, AG. I mean, gosh, EGR last week was great contributor last week. So welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, sir. So yeah, the cadets on the B team are taking their positions here at on bridge. They're being assigned their stations, and then we see Tarima and her brother are the bench warmers. Essentially, if things go on, they're going to have a shift change with the A team, and that's essentially how this rotation and this practice is going to work. We've got Bobby and Kyle teamed up with Caleb, Sam, and Jayden. And this is sort of revealed as to why Bobby has entered the War College, is because of a comic about the Miyazaki, and this is like a full circle moment for him. How do we feel about this character, Tomov? What did you guys think?
I wish he had been wearing a red shirt.
He sort of is with the uniform. I think he's in red. I don't know. He's
black.
Definitely in all black. Yeah.
Yeah.
We barely knew him.
We barely knew him, but he's had good energy. I wish we had more of this guy.
Yes.
They always seem to do that. Introduce these like really interesting characters, and they're gonna kill him off. They did that with Todd Stashwick's character. Rest in peace. Anyway,
wow. How much could you do with him? He was just grumpy.
Yeah. But yeah, we get this sweet shot where we see like a very sort of like micropod pop out the back of this massive ship, and then they sort of like follow it towards the Miyazaki as it lands. They're like, they've made it on board. And Tomov is saying, I bet 6 months of shore leave that you want to get this done in like 60 minutes. And of course, Caleb
2 minutes.
blows the dust off. Oh, was it 2 minutes? I thought he
2
said
minutes,
60
yeah.
seconds or something like that. But yeah, he blows the dust off because he's got to get this thing. And you notice that they don't have tricorders really anymore. It's like a part of their badge. They just like have a virtual tricorder. I don't know. I like the tactile sensation or the tactileness of having the tricorder. This felt a
This
little
is
empty
very
to
much
me.
like Discovery technology as we finished that show, right? And I kind of, you guys, well, Allison, you don't know, Worldmind, you may know, but going back to Next Gen, when they carried those little box like flashlights, it made no sense to me.
Yes,
It takes up a hand. It's like totally cumbersome. It just doesn't make any sense. So this is kind of cool. It's floating there, and you need it when you need it.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I guess flash. Yeah, all right. No, that's fair. That's a good point. So Caleb, you after getting a diagnosis of this conduit, he pulls out some programmable material. Bobby's like, "Are we allowed to use programmable material?" Tomov's like, "Yeah, it's not against the rules." This is where we got Laura and Aki, just Nahla, basically having a little like, well, my team's going to do better than your team. And then that's when Genesis, like, they turned it on, they got the lights on, basically, and everything's seemingly going good. And this is the part of the episode I'm like, this is cool. I like seeing where this goes. What's that?
This was interesting because this is so lighthearted at this point, right? It's just a training exercise.
I kind of, and me personally, I would have liked to seen the training exercise like go through completely. Like, I admittedly was like a little disappointed when we got to this point in the episode where Darum's like, oh, there's like a bunch of like unknown targets, and then we get the other chance of like, we have 30 targets surrounding the ship. Like,
did either of you feel like Wrath of Khan at all? Training exercise, everything's going to be fine.
a little bit, right? Like, it feels like this is a common trope in this show where it's like things are going well and then all of a sudden things don't go well, and that's Star Trek for to a T. But I just kind of wanted to see how the training exercise would go.
But we got a really good bad guy out of this.
Yeah, we do. EJR says, I do like the training scenario for cadets to learn how the away team and bridge have to work together. And that's what I was enjoying about this, is like seeing them. But then, things go awry. Anyway.
Array.
Or array. Yes, thank you.
Awry.
Right. That's
Rye.
it.
Damn it. Fuck. Like the bread. And I'm cooked. Anyway, and so is the crew, because they've got apparently reavers or cannibals that have all of a sudden shown up and jumped on the ship, blocked transporters, as always, and taken the away team hostage. And they're demanding 50,000 bars of latinum. They have 5 hours to do it, and no starships within a light year. If not, they're going to start jettisoning people. And, that's when...
And again, like, horrific. Like, they are.
Oh, they were terrifying. Yes. Terrifying.
Yeah, they have like this like weird face transfer. I guess they're somewhat temporal beings.
Yeah, like they're going in and out of phase, right? So.
Yeah, their whole thing is they're called the Furies and stuff like that. They're really a wild concept. I don't believe they've ever been introduced in Star Trek before. This is new, at least to me. But yeah. Cool intro. That was a pretty sweet cold open. This episode's written by Kenneth Lin and Kylie Rosetter, and is directed by Larry Tang. What's everyone feeling about this cold open? How do you guys feel about this setup? Where were your feelings at this point in the episode? Allison, let's go with you.
Well, I knew that we were going to see the teens kind of having to, or well, teens, I guess they're young adults coming together to work and figure something out, and kind of knowing that the teacher had to die, because we don't want to have the teacher assisting the students. We need the students to come together and figure it all out, right?
Adam, I assume you went from this is going to be a bad episode to, oh, I'm all on board.
within 30 seconds or whatever it was. It went really good, really quick. Yeah. So I went and made my dinner in the opening sequence, and then we're right back at it.
We got a new chatter. Christopher Snyder 1532. He says, "Why haven't they brought a descendant of Finnegan for Star Trek Starfleet Academy? Kirk's bully." I mean,
it may happen.
It may happen. We still have 4 episodes left. We have to keep watching. So we proceed with the episode. We've got the Beta Z twins basically following Doc. He's telling them that shift's off. There's an emergency. You guys chill here, and they don't get much information. And then we get bounced back into Aki's office, basically. She's on a call with Vance and the other Chancellor, whose name still escapes me. Oh, yeah. Anyway, he's breaking it down that, the Furies are around. They want what they want, and they've got to break it. They can't quite get it to them because there's like a station nearby. I don't know. They're trying to figure out a plan. In their formulation of the plan, Vance ultimately suggests that, there's only one being that's ever really stopped and controlled the Furies, and you're not going to like it, but it's News Baraka. And Holly Hunter's like, wait, what? News Baraka. Yeah, so we get News Baraka. It's his return. It's the 6th episode. Introduced in the first episode, he is back, and he could be Starfleet Academy's only hope, but could he? We shall see. She sort of begrudgingly agrees because they ain't got much choice. Then we get snapped back to the Furies, so we get this sort of A-B plot with the AOA team and the bridge crew, and this is a fast-paced, dramatic episode. It's a lot of fun. We're getting the Furies dragging the crew, or the away team, to an airlock because they want to make a message. Tomov gives like a hand signal that we're going to do an attack. Bobby, recognizes this. Caleb also, I don't know if he entirely recognizes this or he's just playing along because he's gotten himself out of a few prison breaks himself. And yeah, we're falling through. Bobby, does the old jump back push, breaks it up, and we get the shakiest camera fight I wasn't a fan of. I was like, why can't the cameraman just hold the camera steady? Like, I know it's stage fighting and all that, and we gotta mask it, but it irritated me. I wasn't a fan of the fight, but that's just me. Everybody gets pushed into the airlock. They lock it. Tomov locks the door. He tells them to go, and then he sort of does the sacrificial lamb. I'm gonna fight them all off, but the cannibals essentially get him, tackle him down, and then do the nasty. But, he buys the kids some time to get to the bridge and lock the door, essentially. Kyle's hurt, and Jaden's like, this could leave a scar, and Kyle's like, but a warrior's gotta have a few scars. He's like, you are truly a Klingon warrior, and gives him a big smile. These two are adorable. Like,
they really
truly
are.
It's adorable watching these two interact. Christopher Snyder says, why am I the first person to give this video a like? Because you're the first awesome person to watch this video and give this one a like, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Bobby breaks it down. We have to get in communication. These guys are going to break through no matter what. Sam's like, we can't. They realize they need to turn the computer on, but Bobby thinks the computer's dead. Sam's like, it's not dead. It's broken up and separated itself into different parts. How are we feeling about Sam's character post episode 5?
I still don't understand her character. I don't. First of all, she's a hologram, right? So, why do we need her? I would just prefer if she just was a character, and I can't get that off my mind. Like she could just go back to the ship anytime.
It's her hologram parameters, I guess you could say, don't make a lot of sense. I think it's just because she is more of she's not really a hologram, she's a photonic being. Yeah, so she's not exactly, she doesn't play by the like hologram emitter rules. She is a being made of light.
Okay. They're trying to make us really care about this race, and I'm not there.
I was kind of into it. Allison, what do you feel about Sam's character?
I enjoy her character. I think she is adding like a lovable character aspect to the show, and kind of bridging that curiosity gap, I suppose, like because she's the ambassador, or not the ambassador,
Emissary.
The emissary, so she's trying to collect data. I see how that's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Out.
But yeah, I do see, well, there's just issues between what happens to the character in one episode and what happens in another episode. There's kind of, it's not all aligning to make sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And is she only there because of like, I don't know. I don't.
She's there because her creators are like, we need to know if we can make contact with physical beings again, because the physical beings originally created them.
So then is Aki just letting her there because she wants to make this contact? Maybe, we don't know. We don't know the motivation.
Yeah, the motivation is that it's entirely that she's there to make contact, and she's there to be designed like to be a part of the student faculty and like learn, and she's trying to figure that out.
Okay.
EJR says
I'm not giving it up yet with her. I just don't love the character, and I certainly don't love last week's episode. If I can say it one more time.
So yeah, EJR saying the shaky cam fight was still easier to follow than most Discovery fast-paced fights. That's fair. So yeah, the Fury are basically burning a hole through the door, a la Star Wars and a lightsaber. We've got Nahla full boots, and they welcome Nusparaka onto the ship at pointed guns, but he's like, take me to the room. Let's talk business. He's getting all the wines, all the fancy drinks that the replicator can make.
Tequila.
Tequilas, yeah.
He's just having a great time.
He's eating it up. He's just enjoying these lines. Vance is seeming a little too like, oh, he's working with us, like he's gonna do what we ask, and Nusparaka's like, you're an easy play.
But he also says if it was my way, I'd kill you in a second, essentially.
Yeah, in a smiling manner. But yeah, you get this whole scene where Noose is sort of like, oh, they're with the Furies, they're basically dead. These guys are cannibals. They don't even enjoy being Furies. They're what was the line you wrote there? It was sphincter puckering.
Yeah. Hold on here. I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
He had some great lines.
It was a great line.
Ball clenching, sphincter puckering pain.
Yeah. Yeah. He's basically talking to like Nahla being like, you should have contacted me. We could have had a good times. So while he's getting, you could say, debriefed. These guys are still trying to figure out. Genesis noticed there's a debris displacement, and it could mean there was like the head hive ship of the Furies. They could, weed them out, and we might have an upper hand. That's when Laura's like, okay, I'm gonna pilot it, but you're gonna be my eyes. We'll like pilot a little probe that'll go subspace. They won't notice us. So they go back to the Miyazaki. They've gotten the computers back online. Subroutine's processing, but it can't decide if it's in the middle of a battle and what's the status of its old crew. So they decide to give it the comic book, a Miyazaki comic book, or at least data of it, so it can sort of chat GPT summarize everything that's happened to it and be like, oh, my crew is dead. Oh, you guys are my new crew. Okay, I'll listen to you.
So this was a Bobby thing. He liked this comic and carried it, I guess, with him as well. So
yeah. I mean, some sort of digital form. While this is all happening, Tarima basically gets into contact with Caleb through her psychic connection, and he's like, they sort of have this like pause time talk thing. She's realizing that they're all freaked out in pain, and she's like, I've gotten contact with them. They don't know what to do. They're freaking out. Go back to Chancellor Aki's office. We got Noose Baraka playing with the NX-01 model, which is like nice callback. But how dare you, sir, hold that ship? And you get this sort of the way he plays his character. It's like he's an absolute ass. But then in this scene, he sort of plays it like a misunderstood ass. It's like, you guys don't understand. I've been out here trying to like provide things, and you give dilithium. All these people are going around my route. You know, I'm just trying to be out here. And I think he also has this sort of like speech about how Nahla lost a son, and isn't it, you know, funny? She's in this position in her life where she's trying to save, you know, more kids, but by not saving her son, she saved, you know, a team. She chose her Starfleet command over her son that died. But this time, you know, she could choose the son that she doesn't have. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this episode. What are we feeling? How are we feeling about this point? Like, do you guys have any like comments or thoughts about like how this episode has progressed?
I think with that discussion between the two, talking about who is right and who is wrong, right? So if we're following certain rules, are those rules put in place to benefit some but not others? And I think as a businessman, he's trying to say that he wants to be able to do things the way he wants to, no matter the cost, and kind of pointing out that Nahla had to make that difficult decision to choose her team, like, and that came up a few times, right? Like the quote, the Spock quote, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So
Yeah,
kind of thinking about the whole rather than each individual, right?
Yeah.
And he's also referring like his disdain of the Federation, you know, and that one of the last quotes for him, it was a special strain of bureaucratic chlamydia. Again, like just like what a great description. Like the writers must have had such great time writing his character, because he delivers the lines so perfect. There was another great line, you know, hills are alive with the sound of murder.
Yeah. Sound of Music reference.
So in that sort of tete-a-tete between Nahla and Noose, he sort of like lets it slip, and she thinks she found a way, but she's called to the bridge because Tarima has the idea of getting in contact with everyone, but she basically needs to be put into like a medically induced coma so that she can fully use her powers or whatever. While they're talking about this, it is revealed in this scenario that, you know, her backstory isn't totally what it is, and it's been her brother's like, it's not what it sounds like. Ultimately what happened was her psychic power got too powerful when she got emotional as a kid, and that's what caused her father's deafness, and it like ruptured his hearing, which caused him to be deaf and stuff. Which I was like, okay, that's a decent explanation. And that sort of like gives them the like the pause to be like, okay, we can probably work with this plan.
Can you bring up the last two comments there? They're kind of good as well.
So EJR says Sam's character is a basic character that all modern TV shows have now, the happy bubbly character. Fair enough. And then he also follows levity. Up. Yeah, levity. When Noose said the captain chose her Starfleet command over saving her son, virtually all the captains we have met would make that same decision.
But is it like taking it as a mother too, right? Like you're kind of twisting that, like you chose your team over your own child. And it seems to be almost more nefarious because she's a mother.
Yeah.
Even though it's pretty bad either way. But
choosing Starfleet over family, how dare you?
Choices
so
have to be made.
These two sort of say, okay, let's follow up with the command. This is when I really should pull up his name. This is getting to bug me. The work chancellor, of course. course it's in the show. The War Chancellor basically pulls out the schematics of the Miyazaki and talks about doing a Firefly command that could basically do like a small power surge from all the systems and then start up the quantum energy or quantum engine, whatever it's called. Yeah. Wow.
Singularity.
Singularity engine, thank you. Commander Kelrick, that's what it is. All right, so yeah, Commander Kelrick like lays down the plan. They'll have to do it, so Tarima gives the word, and then they can all sort of do that. So the computer's still reading the comic book, taking forever, but obviously finishes the analysis.
Hey,
They put up a force field wall.
To pull a Dave
Come back.
Mater here, can we see the uniforms on that comic book, please?
It looks like TOS era uniforms,
Yeah, it really does.
which implies that this ship's been around since the TOS era.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay.
So yeah, they basically get the force field up, chops off an arm. Kyle does a smart thing and grabs Bobby grabs a gun. You get the sweet shot of Bobby looking through a porthole. Nahla is very like, there's something not right about what's going on. I think she's sniffing out the fact that this is going to be some type of double cross from New Sparaka. We're getting to the final bits of this episode. There's a scene between the doctor and Tarima where he's basically like, this could be dangerous. She's like, I know, I get it. I'm willing to do it. And then Nahla starts doing this thing. It's like, you need to get off my ship. She starts pushing the guy because she's figured out how he works. His whole secret weapon to control the Furies was apparently the sound of a dragon. Some type of dragon. Apparently Star Trek has dragons now. Yeah, the screeching auditory sound of a dragon is what stopped the Furies. Their plan is to use sort of like a core from a nearby station or ship like that. A ship that's protecting a station, I believe. They were going to use like a core to that. To me, I was like, why don't they just plug into the sound system and play the audio bit if it's that bad? They need to like amplify it with, warp core stuff. That's generally the plan here. So they proceed to follow through with this while Laura Talk is navigating the probe to find the Furies. And this all sort of happens in rapid succession. You've got Tarima doing the psychic adventure, the bridge crew trying to survive from having their door kicked in, and or the away team having their door kicked in, and the bridge crew trying to like delegate New Sparaka's like craziness. Then Tarima's like, hey, go ahead, yeah.
I've got to say, the Tarima character tonight, she had a real job, and and I think that finally showed her strength rather than just the girlfriend, and she did very well tonight. I think she played that role well. This was basically her Jean Grey becoming a Phoenix moment. Caleb's managed to get the computer connected, and he's like, show me the schematic, or show me the remote view of the engineering, because he's got to implement the Firefly program. They find the debris. They start taking out the ship. This is when Jaden confronts Caleb, and he's like, you and Tarima? And he's like, yes, this is exactly how I wanted to tell you. It's like, okay, guy. Tarima's under sedation. They kick up the Firefly program. They find them in the debris and they start attacking. It all just sort of compiles together. You get these sweet outside ship shots where they're looking at the Miyazaki. They think they found it. And then it sort of decloaks and you get New Sparaka's weird origami ship. Then you get the classic Star Trek battle. While this is happening, Durham's trying to decipher a code from New Sparaka to the Furies that basically says they took the bait, bon appetit, and that's when Nahla is like, all right, give the command, all fire, fire everything we got. They do the Signarelli drive, and then while this is all happening, things start to kind of go to shit. It looks like they're gonna win the day.
But then the Furies break through, and it becomes a battle. It looks like everyone's getting like cornered. Kyle and Jaden are trying to fight him off. Sam even gets shot, and her photogenic outside somehow is
This was
damaged.
interesting to me because it did show that she can be damaged, and to your point, she's just not a hologram.
Yeah,
but in
well,
but in the previous episodes where they did the games, didn't shots go through her?
yeah, she just like turned it off and became, not corporeal. Like, um, wasn't not porous. It was they had a term for it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess in that moment she forgot to turn it off or whatever.
See, Sam, they can just do what they want with her, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's just...
Yeah,
And that's it. That's the ambiguity of like it's this episode we have to do it this way, but this episode we'll do it that way.
We jump
Got to
back
drive
to
the story
Medic Bay.
forward.
Okay, by the way, I'm playing the Dave Mater role tonight. I love the medical.
Yeah, the medic uniform looks very slick. Yeah,
Great.
The uniforms are deadly, like absolutely best uniforms,
So, yeah.
I think.
we jump back
They
to
look
Medic
good in
Bay.
Discovery. They did look good in Discovery, but this, like with the black stripe down it, I
Yeah.
think it just sets it off. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks real crisp. Tarima's having a freak out.
In this show, we don't know. We haven't seen a medical crew. We don't have like a doctor. Interesting.
We got the doctor. What do you mean?
Oh, that doctor, right? Yes. Where the hell is he?
He's here. He's doing the job. He's been handling this whole Tarima thing.
Oh, I thought we were doing this guy.
This guy is clearly a nurse. This is the doctor's hand because Tarima has ripped out her inhibitor because she knows that the away team isn't going to survive if she doesn't go full Phoenix powers here. And in this moment, Bobby gets shot through the chest and bleeds red blood. What?
I think it was the phaser.
Oh, it was the phaser. That makes sense because I was thinking the same thing. It didn't make any sense because they do have it on his face afterwards that it's green.
It is in his face. It is green, but this, like when I was going through the screenshots, this blood is very CGI red. They didn't really change the color.
It's not blood. It's the phaser color.
I'm sorry, but that mist behind him right here, that is blood, sir.
What blood? Hey, okay, fair enough. Oh, the mist. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
The giant cloud of blood exiting from the.
All right, somebody forgot to color that green, and somebody didn't do their job great.
Would have been a good fix.
But this is the end of Bobby, our one and only Vulcan on the show so far. Tarima sees this and she loses it, and Caleb's like, what's gonna happen? She's like, you're not gonna like me when I do this. He's like, what do you mean? What do you gotta do? And then she just starts screaming in his face, and that becomes a psychic shockwave. They don't quite explain the origins of or how this works, but it goes and just blows up all the Furies' heads and breaks their necks and kills them all. And Bobby's dead, and Kyle cries, and then they're all teleported because they got the teleporter back on.
So we went from everybody's happy on the bridge and betting over whether they can turn the power on to complete devastation, 2 deaths.
2 deaths, yep.
And we had a guy that was an arm, heads
cannibalized and thrown out the airlock.
Fantastic. This went just great.
They went full Empire Strikes Back, and this was the sad ending. We get the breakdown from Vance being like, we were played. He was working with the Furies all along. This was to get us away from our super high-tech super secret sauce Starfleet project station that was nearby. He just pulled us away so we could go get that whatever's in there. And now this has made Noose Baraka the most wanted man in all of the galaxy. Because he essentially has, we'll just say, some sort of intergalactic nuke.
But again,
within that defeat,
you don't feel the anger towards him just yet. He's just a bad guy. Now he's gonna become a real villain in a few minutes.
Yeah, we get the unknown call, And during all this, we, get a sort of a ceremony of Bobby being curtained away. Final call for him. Sam's looking stoic and broken in the chair. She's being repaired. Will this be a change of the bubbly character of Sam? Maybe. And
Oh, wait, no. Her bosses will not will not trust humans now. They put her in the line of fire.
oh yeah, she was in the line of fire and she become back damaged and oh no. And then in critical condition, comatose condition is Tarima. She's now in a coma. So Sam's injured, Tarima's in a coma, Bobby's dead, Tomov's dead, Caleb's sad, and we've got Noose Baraka just rubbing it in, rubbing all the salt in the wounds, and sort of also insinuating that that's not even the worst of it that he has planned for Nahla. He's got a really big surprise with a big red bow ribbon wrapped on it just for her.
But before, like in this whole dialogue, though, he was talking about again. He brought her son, and he brought up that he feels what in this line. What was he? He talked about the bureaucratic chlamydia of the Federation, which is a great line again. But he also said, "I really hate you," to her.
Really? Yeah.
So he's vindictive. He has a score to settle with her. This guy's not done yet.
It's a beautiful dynamic. I love it. I'm here for it.
These two are captivating. You're getting their money's worth out of these Academy Award-winning actors.
And then you just sort of they pulled, in the first episode with him, I think they had a lot more stuff on his face and or maybe it was the helmet he was wearing or something, but you can see more of the Paul Giamatti in this role tonight, and how he delivers lines and is just he's great to watch.
Yeah, superb, a superb episode that ends with a sort of somber, quiet ending. Will our character survive? That pretty much does it for the screen.
But that ending though, like from that and then into the credits, with just the noise of the clicking and the eating of those Fury was amazing.
Furies, yeah, the Fury sound at the end. It was very creepy. Let's pull up the scores.
So I got a vibe like we haven't had a real great villain in Star Trek since probably Borg. Like all the small, like just Discovery, no. Picard, no. Yeah, we haven't had.
I mean, I feel like, the Borg and species like 768, whatever, from Voyager.
EGR just brought up another great comment.
My favorite EJR says my favorite scene of the series so far is Noose at the end to the captain when he said he hates her, he means it. It reminds me of Ducat and Cisco and Khan and Kirk, especially Ducat and Cisco.
Yeah, I felt
they have that dynamic. Yeah,
and the Khan and Kirk one too. I felt that too. I really, this was a real Wrath of Khan episode for me.
And we got one more. Christopher Snyder 1532 says, "Whoops, almost forgot to subscribe. Diverted an interstellar crisis there." You made the right choice, sir. Hopefully, we look forward to seeing you in our comments in future episodes. Let us move on to, since we got to settle some scores. Let us move on to the ratings for this episode.
Okay, I've got some facts for you tonight. I found some.
Oh, we got facts, do we? We got facts. Fun facts with Adam.
Yeah.
Sexy fun facts with Adam. Let's
go. No, they're not sexy tonight. Well, maybe they'll be sexy to you. I'm not sure. Okay, but let's see. So the Miyazaki was commissioned in 3067 and remained in service to 3069 when several computer failures caused the Singularity drive to go offline and the entire crew perished. So that ship became the inspiration for Tales from the Frontier comic book series. It was a Constitution class, but this is way after original series, especially with the Singularity drive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it kind of lines up with, because it feels like some like secret engine tech that like Discovery had, where they had the like
The Spore.
the mycelium drive, the mycelium spore drive. They were still technically TOS era ships, so like this kind of aligns with the whole like we're trying wacky drives. Let's see what this one does, and you know they're like, oh, let's go try me as yeah, let's not try that drive. Let's what else we got?
To that point, the plasma shield force field protection worn by the mission away team is reminiscent of the life support belts worn in the animated series crew. Now, I have never and will never watch the animated series, so okay, interesting.
Apparently, you're missing the Salat episodes. It was like one of the greatest episodes ever.
All right, maybe I'll watch it someday. It's going to take something really big to get me to watch that. Now, apparently, that crew member I called it was actually a Zindi insectoid wearing a gold Starfleet uniform, who's working on next to Durham on the Athena Bridge.
Okay. Wow, the Zindi have joined Starfleet. Huh. Only took 1,000 years.
Just bear with me here a second, guys. The Athena has a lockdown mode, which segregates the ship's Academy decks from the operational sections of the ship. And apparently, Noose Baraka's full first name is apparently Nustifer.
I love that.
I laughed when I heard that. Nustifer. Okay. I see you.
Okay, this is really interesting, and I'd love to know more about it, but we don't have time to really research this tonight. But the Furies are part Linar, which were bat-like creatures from Celtis 3 featured in Chains of Command Part 1. I have to look that one up. They say here, we get another look at the Teddy Ruxpin of Terror, which is Caleb's toy bear from when he was a kid. According to Baraka, the Lanthanite language does not include finality words like end or done.
Okay, interesting.
And I think that's where I'll wrap it, guys.
And your finality is done with the fun, sexy facts with Adam. Let's move on to settle our scores with this week's episode ratings. We will begin with Cadet Allison. What would you give this score for this episode?
I would give it an 8 for sure. The action was really great. There was a few holes of like with Sam being shot that confused me, and then also the psychic connection. How did the sound kill the Furies and the scream killed the Furies, but didn't affect, because didn't she made her dad deaf, but she didn't make the other Starfleet guys, like nothing happened to them. So there's a few holes in the stories that made me go, huh? And then the blood as well, the red blood.
Yeah.
But overall, action packed, super good, super great dynamic. The bad guy is really, really going to be great.
And before we move on to Adam, just real quick, do you think you could give us your scores for the first 5 episodes?
Oh God, I'll have to do. I'll get back to you.
Okay, certainly we'll get back to you. All right, Adam.
Anything more than a 4 for last week's, you're not coming back. That's actually not for me to say, but anyway.
Noted.
Worldmind, I'm giving this a 9. This was a fantastic episode, and I hope it sets the tone for the rest of the. How many we have left? 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 more.
All right, so big 9.
Now, by the way, EGR agrees with me with a 9. He said 9 more.
Comments. EGR dropping in with a 9 as well. Chris and Sam, if you're still here, let us know your scores for this episode. Let's see. I'm gonna give this episode. Yeah, I'm in the high 8s. Yeah, I'm going with an 8.5 on this episode. It was strong. It had a lot of notes. It came in with like a strong ending. The ending was quick, and it was sort of like yada yada a little in certain aspects. Like you said, there was some loop.
I disagree with you. I think that talk with Noose and Aki was just fantastic. Like, it was a great setup. Like,
Yeah,
I think
a lot
the
of that was
holes in
good.
the end of it was all the people dying. We were kind of like, who died?
Yeah,
But who did he kill? That was kind of
yeah.
glossed over.
I'm hoping maybe that they're gonna revisit some of this stuff in the next episode, and we'll maybe get some holes filled.
IMDb has a very high rating right now, 7.3.
7.3 from IMDb. And just so you know, Adam, I had rewatched Series Acclamation Mill today, and I decided to bump my score up from 5 to 6. So yeah,
Okay,
it's actually that's pretty good. Did Dave give us a score?
He did. He's told me 7.5. I'd
It's
love to know why.
7.5 from him. He's given
I
us
think
these scores, but we'll never really know.
if he was here, we would talk him up. It would be even better.
The reason, yeah, we would know the rhyme or reason, but he's too busy sweeping them curling rocks. Hopefully, teammate get the dub over at the curling edition there. So if you guys are watching this, hopefully it went well for you, and hopefully we get Dave back on the show and we get to hear his thoughts about this episode, because that's why everybody tunes in to Live Long and Podcasts, because they want to hear Dave Mader's thoughts, not us Sally crew.
Oh, come on. Like, I appreciate Dave like you wouldn't believe. He's the captain. However, we are good too.
We're good too. No, it's true. We're good too. And with that, I think we'll call it a day. Any final thoughts about this episode and hopes and/or dreams for Starfleet Academy, Allison?
I really like how the path is being driven for the characters and their interactions, and I see bigger battles ahead.
Agreed. Adam?
I love a good villain. And the casting on this show to bring in, as you said, 2 Academy actors is great. If they can keep Aki out of the chair and keep the Sam episodes down, I'll be very happy.
I think they're just trying to appeal to the younger generation, right? Like, it feels that.
No,
that's
I understand that,
like.
and it's important to keep the franchise alive. I'm all on board. I just didn't love it. That's all. And it's all about me, honestly. So I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding on that.
This is on track for what I believed this show to be and what it'll become. I think we're going to get more episodes in this tone. I believe we've gotten a lot of the cringy youth stuff, that band-aids are being ripped off, and it's leading more into the tones of Star Trek that I think we all enjoy.
I really hope so, and I would love to know what also Jody has to say about this one, and Ashley and Kevin. Like this was all these. Anyway, we need everybody in here to talk about this.
We may have to organize a group roundup of the show and just sort of get everyone's overall thoughts.
And Heather, I don't think has watched one yet.
I'm not sure where she's
watched a couple. We were chatting about it, but I'm not sure she's watched more than a couple.
Wow, she needs to catch up because she's gonna enjoy this one, I think. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Live Long and Podcast. We've got more stuff for you guys to review and sit back and enjoy. I believe we're coming up with is this the next episode of TNG? No, that's For All Mankind. You guys have done that one.
Yeah, that season 5 is starting on March 27th.
Is it Tin Man? Is that the next episode that's coming up for TNG?
We did Tin Man on Monday.
All right, so you guys just did Tin Man, and then recently, actually as of today, there was a Captain's Yacht interview with producer, executive producer, writer, and head writer of Star Trek Prodigy, Aaron Watke. It was a great interview. Dave and Jessica sat down with Aaron for an hour.
Sorry, we didn't do Tin Man yet. We couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think Tin Man's supposed to be coming up.
Sorry, I watched it.
You watched it, but they didn't talk about it
yet.
But they're going to talk about TNG Tin Man this coming Monday. And then, go check out the Aaron Watke interview. And we'll be back next Thursday for Starfleet Academy, Episode 7. Do we have the title of that episode at all at hand? Maybe not. Probably not. I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to let that air happen on my
No,
time.
well, it hasn't got a name yet.
We haven't got the name yet, but you'll find out. All you got to do is subscribe, and we'll be back with more awesome reviews. Thank you again, Allison, for coming in to hang out with us. Thank you again,
Thanks for having me.
Let's leave out with this butt-puckering soundbite and call it a night.
Here's what you need to get about the Furies. They hate being Furies. Yeah, they're in ball-clenching, sphincter-puckering pain all the time. And the only relief they get is to just spooge it all over other people.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.